Welcome to MCN and welcome to the Chang International Circuit in Buriram, where today we have been riding a selection of Lita sports bikes and we've been testing out Bridgestone's new Battlax Racing RS12s. So what we've come here to find out is if Bridgestone have brought a new sporty tyre to the market that is going to be sort of the perfect blend for fast road riding and for UK track days. So to give you a bit of an idea of where this sits, it is their sportiest road legal tyre that they've ever created. So competition wise, you're looking at the sort of Pirelli super courses. So high level, super grippy, really suited to sort of your big capacity sports bikes. Now, previously, Bridgestone had the RS11 tyre. This is what's replacing them, and the tyre is pretty much redesigned from the ground up. So it's got an updated tread pattern. As you can see, the tread sits further in the centre of the tyre rather than on the shoulders. It's also got a new racing compound, and it also has a new steel belt construction on the front tyre. Now, I'm not going to get too sort of geeky and nerdy with the internals of the rubber and sort of what Bridgestone have done. But what you sort of need to know is that instead of bringing a street tyre to the track, they've changed their ethos a little bit and they've started off with a race tyre and brought it into the street. So what that means is we've been riding all day on these RS12s and they have been really, really impressive. Now, Bridgestone claim that not only are they faster around a lap than the RS11 by quite a considerable margin, about 1.5 seconds, but the longevity has increased as well, and that's something that's really important. If you ride on track, if you ride a big bike, you'll know just how easy it is to get through a tyre, especially a rear tyre at somewhere like Brands. You know, you can do a couple of sessions in the heat and you start to square it off and you're getting down to the wear markers. What's been really impressive about riding the RS12 today is that we were doing a lot of sessions of two groups back to back, and these tyres were sort of doing 60, 70 laps and they were still offering really good grip. They didn't even look sort of too banded up. They weren't too aggressively wearing. It was really impressive to see how long they lasted. For a grippy, sporty tyre, they do give you a serious amount of longevity, which is important because tyres are not cheap. And on that subject, they're also going to be keeping them at the same price as the RS11s as well. So you're still looking at sort of just shy of 400 quid, between 370 and 400 quid for a set. But because they've got increased longevity, they do last really well. But it's not just about longevity. That's not why you go and buy a Lita sports bike and go out on track. You want something that's going to grip and look after you. And I've got to say, I've been really impressed with the RS12 today. I've always been a huge fan of the Supercourse. I love the grip and the feedback and the feel, and the RS12 does come close to that. It has a slightly sort of different feeling, but the way that Bridgestone have worked on the shoulders, worked on the construction, it feels far softer and does give you a good amount of feedback, which is really important, especially at Buriram here. There's a lot of fast open corners that open up, really heavy braking zones, and there's a lot of time where you're on the edge of the tyre going through the gears. And there wasn't really any point today where I was left wanting. We've been riding a standard 5-blade, standard S1000RR, and we also had the Yacht R1, as you can see here. And now this has got a full system, it's got proper ECU on it, it's got proper suspension. It's almost like a sort of half-baked super stock bike. And even with that thing, it never felt like I was, you know, gagging to get on a slick tyre. It was really impressive how it hooks up, how it feels, and also how quickly it warms up as well. So even though we're in Thailand, it's not boiling hot. I've got a jacket on. It's sort of, you know, warm summer's day in the UK, maybe like a Spanish track day in winter. We were running without warmers, and even on a brand new tyre, it ran in really quickly, and you could be knee down in half a lap. It was really impressive how quickly they activated and warmed up and, you know, ran from cold pressures. If you're in the market for, you know, a high performance sporty tyre for the track, I think the RS12s don't have the super edge and the superior feedback that maybe some of the other competitors do. It's really difficult to get like a real soft feel and like that last few % of feedback. But even so, they are incredibly close to being up there at the top. And because of the longevity that's on offer, I actually think that they are an amazing tyre. I think it's probably my favourite Bridgestone tyre that I've ever ridden on track by quite a considerable margin. For that reason, I think that they're absolutely brilliant. I was never the biggest fan of the RS11s, but riding these on a sunny track, it is pretty spectacular what you can get away with. Now, saying that, you've got to remember that these are built for sort of reasonable temperatures and dry tarmac. You've lost a little bit of tread on the outside and the shoulders of the tyre, so I don't think that they'd be particularly special in the wet. In fact, you'd sort of, like your supercoursers, you don't really want to be riding them in the wet. But for a dry trackday tyre that offers a serious amount of performance, that goes a serious distance, Bridgestone have put a lot of time and effort into developing this tyre, and you know what? It feels it. If you're in the market for a tyre that lasts a bit longer, that does give you a serious amount of grip, then you won't be going wrong with these. We hope you enjoyed the video. We're going to be doing loads more over winter. We've got group tests, we've got first rides, we've got some special features for you guys. So please like, subscribe, let us know what you think in the comments, and also let us know what your favourite tyre is as well. We're going to be doing some tyre testing next year. Hopefully we'll have a big group test where we get them all together. But until then, yeah, these do tick all the boxes.